Hey there guys, Tony here, CCxRC. We've got another fun toy on the bench. We have the WLTOYS A969. This is the A version. There's also a B version, which goes 70 kilometers an hour. This one goes 50 kilometers an hour, or so they say. But if it's like the A959, it's pretty quick. So this is the short course version of that same truck, pretty much. So the tires will probably be different and things. But we're going to unbox it. We're going to take a look and see right after the break. Alright, so I had a little bit of trouble unboxing the last one, so hopefully this one will be a little bit easier for us. Well, that one just popped right out of the box. That was pretty easy. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get it on the bench here, and we're going to open it up and take a look inside and see what there is to see about this truck. Alrighty, so we're going to make quick work of this because this is very similar to the A959. If you want to see that, I have a video on that I'll post in the description as well. But here you go, the instruction manual. They've got really great illustrations in here. Look at these kids. But it also has like parts explosions, part listings, things like that, so you can order up some new parts for it if you need them. Exploded views, all that. Pretty decent. Comes with one tool, this little wrench here for the wheels. We get our charger here for the lithium battery that it comes with, which is a 2S 7.4 volt 1100 milliamp hour battery, and it uses your balance lead off of the battery to charge with. Takes probably a little over 2 hours, I think, to charge. Again, it comes with an EU plug, not a US plug if you're buying in the US. And so you'll have to have an adapter that will convert this over to a US plug. Nothing big. I've got them. I travel a lot for work, so I can easily get this plugged in and charging. Alright, so the transmitter. Again, it looks very much like a Spectrum transmitter. It has steering trim. It uses buttons instead of knobs, so you click these to adjust. So steering trim and throttle trim, so like up and down for throttle and then left and right, just by clicking these in multiple times. We've got the controller. I mean, overall it feels good. 2.4 gigahertz, takes 4 AA batteries. So all very standard stuff. Your power button here on the bottom. But this is what I want to look at. I'm sure the rest of you as well. This is the A969. This is the A version. Again, I opted for the slower speed one because something this small is already hard to control. Because of the shortened wheelbase and the tighter wheels left to right or side to side, everything's much quicker. Any movement you make. So having a little bit slower speed, but that also, all the parts are smaller on this, so they're easier to break. And not to mention just the drivetrain on it is just smaller, and I just don't want to put 70 kilometers an hour, which is roughly about 42 or so miles per hour on this. This one will go about 32 at 50 kilometers an hour, somewhere in that range. So here we go. We'll take the top off, and this is very much the same setup as the A959, and we'll take a look at it in case you haven't seen that video. But we've got our brushed motor here with a heat sink on it. We've got the steering servo here, which is a side mounted, which is interesting. I didn't have any problems with that when I was running the other day with the other version. The bumpers are definitely different on this. This is probably, if I'm jumping on the BMX jumps, this could probably be a break point for me, where the other one doesn't even have this. It's just this little front stub. So it's not the end of the world if that does break off, in my opinion, for myself. Rear bumper. We've got these shocks, which are oil filled, but these ones don't feel as stiff as the other car. So whoever helped put this one together, it just definitely feels nicer than the A959 shocks. So they're just more springy, and they're not, I don't know, they're smooth. The other ones just weren't smooth like this. So that's nice. These are a sticky tire. It just doesn't have any foam in it. So yeah, here's the ESC and the receiver are here up in the front. This is kind of routed weird. Your on-off switch as well is up here in the front. Here's our battery. Take it out. Again, it's pretty standard battery plug. Here's the balance lead that you use for charging. And so again, like I said, this is a 7.4 volt, 1100 milliamp hour. And this should last you about 10 to 12 minutes with the truck. And then again, like I said, it takes between 2 to 3 hours to charge it up again, unless you have a quick charger like I have. And then you can charge it up very rapidly and be back out in probably 20 minutes with this car. Again, just for comparison, I'll show it next to the Losi Mini Desert truck. They're very similar in their scale, and again, they're built a little bit different. This one has a much wider chassis to it. This is a very thin chassis, which means that all the components are stacked, and I actually don't like how this battery sits in here and pops up to handle the battery. It's a two-wheel drive only, so the motor's in the back. And so I just prefer this layout on these WLTOYS models over this. The tires on the Losi are definitely a better point. These have foam inserts in them where these do not. And it just, that's another additional handling and shock absorption on this truck, is the tires are just much softer. So let me put it back here, and we'll put it next to its brother, which is very dirty because I just did a rainy day mud run with it. All right, so here are the two, the A959A and the A969A trucks from WLTOYS. And I do want to say that Gearbest did send this to me to do a review on, as well as this one. And I specifically wanted to do these 1/18 scale when they asked me if I wanted to do a review on something, because this is a realm that I want to get more into when I don't have the room, or I just want to drive around in the driveway or have my kids out running. These are what I chose, and so I did choose the slower speed, not only for myself if I'm running it, but also for the kids, because also where I jump, you don't really need to be going that fast because the jumps are set up in a way that you already get really big air at 50 kilometers an hour. And so I'm not a speed runner, and so these are exactly what I was looking for in these cars. So they sent them to me. I'm actually going to take this one out and drive it in the driveway, because that would be more probably the type of terrain I would be driving this one on. This one I tried out on the trails, but I'll probably get that one out there eventually. But for now, with the short course truck and body, we'll do it in the driveway with some plastic jumps and ramps and things like that, and see how it does. I know. That was a big one. Well, as you can see, this is a quick little whip of a truck. It says that it goes 50 kilometers an hour, about 30 to 35 miles per hour. And it's very, very fast. It's got great control. I did have to mess with the steering trim a bit on mine. But once I got it dialed in, it was very good control, very responsive actually. For such a small servo, I was shocked. Part of that is just due to the size of the car, and littler movements actually make it turn very fast. So overall, I really like this. I gave it some good abuse. You know, we're jumping it on cement, and so it kind of really tests the durability when you're flipping and you're hitting, because the cement does not forgive like the dirt does. And no brakes, no issues. I did see sparks on one of the landings because it definitely bottoms out when it hits off of that big of a jump. We got a backflip out of this. It's fast enough and there's enough wheel speed that I saw that it was wanting to do one, and I corrected and got it to land flat, but I thought, man, I should try it. And yeah, sure enough, we whipped out a perfect backflip off of that little ramp even, which most of my larger scale have a hard time doing a backflip off of until the Bison. So this is very, very quick. This is the WLTOYS A969. This is the A version. They make a B version that's even faster, that goes 70 kilometers an hour, which is about 40 miles to 45 miles per hour. I don't know that I would want that extra speed because it's already a little bit tricky to control just because of the size. Any movement that you make is exaggerated just in scale to the car. So the more speed might actually make it even harder to drive, because there's times when I was turning and it would just spin and whip around because even though the tires had pretty good grip, the movements were just so exaggerated that it just would spin out and do some cool spins, which makes it also fun to do. But yeah, real good basher. I actually found that you can get parts for this on Amazon. Again, I got this through Gearbest.com, and I'll have a link to Gearbest for it in the description below, as well as any discounts that they might be offering. I'll try and find some discount codes if you want to get this even cheaper. And that's the other thing versus the A and B version, is that this is $20 cheaper. So this is about $65 to get this new. I think the B version is $85. Don't quote me exactly on the prices. You'll have to look them up. Prices do change on stuff all the time. But for $65, this is a really fast truck. Pretty durable. If you watch the video, I'll make sure I included some of the crashes. But I'm also going to have another run video of this that's more in depth, longer, cut to music, and so you can see this thing a lot quicker and just a more packaged kind of a way. But I wanted to include some just natural, raw footage of this so that you could see it and see how it performs. But no brakes, other than a few scuffs on the body. This thing, it handled really well, and I had so much fun driving it, and my kids are going to love it. And so, you know, if you're looking for something that's quick, durable, you know, any RC car can break. And again, that's the nice thing, is you can get parts for this. They have all different kinds of parts available, and you can fix it back up. But in fact, I break a lot of my RC cars. I'll just be honest. That's the way I run them. But for $65 to get you in with some speed, you can jump it. It's a pretty decent little truck. So until next time, guys, Tony here, CCxRC. Have fun RCing.